Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here. Welcome back to day 123 of the Hunt a Day. I took a look at my countdown this morning on my phone for the Monster Hunter Wilds release, and I completely missed that we were already in the 30s of days remaining, and soon we will be in the 20s. But until that day, we're going to keep on trucking, and I am continuing to get more and more excited for this game to come out. But today we are continuing our stroll down Subspecies Alley by fighting Ebony Odogaron. And with a lot of these subspecies, I feel like a lot of what I say about the original monsters holds weight for the subspecies as well. If I like the original monster, I usually like the subspecies. When it comes to Ebony Odogaron, that is kind of not so much flipped on its head, but expanded on a little bit, because I like Ebony Odogaron so much more than I like regular Odogaron. Both visually and fight-wise, I feel like Ebony is a perfect evolution of what regular Odogaron should have been, and was a really great addition to Iceborne's roster. In terms of visuals, I mean, just look at him. One of my biggest complaints with Odogaron as a monster is how one-note he is in terms of, like, color palette and design. There's not a whole lot of visual interest going on. He sort of blends into the Rotten Vale a little bit too much, which makes sense given his lore as a scavenger, as a, not necessarily ambush hunter, but as, like, a hunter that sticks to the shadows when he can, and then, jumps out. So, I guess, yeah, an ambush predator. But aside from having a really cool-looking body and a relatively unique skeleton that we did not see a lot of monsters have prior to Monster Hunter World, Odogaron doesn't do a whole lot visually, and Ebony fixes that almost immediately. Like, the gradient from the dark, blood red head and, front area with, the black, seeping in, to the kind of, more pale gray midsection, and then the, black-blue tail. This man looks like an edgelord American flag, and I think that's hilarious. I think it's really cool. The color blends work really well, and it is incredibly fun. That and the glowing, purple red eyes from the dragon element that he has access to is a great design choice, and it makes Ebony Odogaron look so intimidating. And, even comparing it to Odogaron, who is already an intimidating-looking monster, but Ebony just cranks that dial all the way up past 11. And then you've got the fight, and something that I don't know if it was just because I was looking for stuff to talk about today, but I don't know if I ever noticed before hunting today that Ebony Odogaron, most of the moves it does are attempts to get behind you. A lot of its moves will attack you, once from the front, and then have a follow-up attack that is designed to hit you in the back, which I assume makes Ebony Odogaron kind of a pain in the ass to fight with a lance, because you kind of have to, do a very quick pivot in order to block. But I absolutely love that design choice. Regular Odogaron is, in your face, constantly coming at you from the front, not trying to hide, not trying to, be sneaky. It is trying to just, get in and take you down as fast as it possibly can, whereas Ebony Odogaron is trying to be tactical with how it hunts. And one of the commenters on the Odogaron video I did, Starchy the Potato, which is a great name, by the way, if you're watching, made a comment about how Ebony Odogaron, there's a kind of a lore snippet, and it's kind of theorized that the reason Black Veil Valhazak exists is because Ebony Odogaron was hunting Valhazak in the Rotten Vale, and so Black Veil had to, adapt and be able to move around to other biomes, and I think that's awesome. This, predator that became so niche in hunting a specific type of monster that it not only gained, access to dragon element in order to effectively take it down, but then also, drove an elder dragon out of its home. I think that's awesome. That's really cool, and if that is, real actual lore, I think that's awesome. That's great. And I would love to see more like that. I like it when elder dragons are not, all-powerful gods and are still animals and creatures that can be, like, driven away, you know? So Ebony Odogaron's got a cool fight, an awesome design, and I would absolutely love to see it again. Again, I don't remember exactly what I said for Odogaron in terms of coming back in Wilds, but I think it has a pretty good chance. Any monster that was in World that was not in Rise, I think has a really high chance of coming back in Monster Hunter Wilds, just because, you know, World is still Capcom's best-selling game of all time. They are going to want to, like, bring people back into the series with monsters from World. So I think because Odogaron has a high chance of coming back, I would say Ebony also has a higher chance of coming back. But being a subspecies and a roaming monster, which, that's something that I'll touch on really quickly. Monster Hunter World had too many invaders, too many roaming monsters. You had Basil and Seething Basil, Deviljho and Savage Deviljho, Ebony Odogaron, Fulgur Anjanath, Bonburrow. Like, you only need like 1 or 2 invaders per game. Iceborne said, oops, all invaders, and I think that was a bad choice. But aside from that, like, Ebony Odogaron's great. If it comes back, I don't want it to be an invader. I'm going to say like a 6 out of 10 to come back in Monster Hunter Wilds, and a hopefully 10 out of 10 to come back in a future game. I am going to remind everyone that I don't want to know if I'm right. I don't want to know if Odogaron or Ebony have already been, like, announced or revealed for Monster Hunter Wilds. I am 100% spoiler-free, or trying to be, on Monster Hunter Wilds monsters and, like, maps. Anything that we have not seen, anything that was shown after the release date trailer or the Gamescom demo, like the first beta. I don't want to know. Please don't tell me. Please don't make comments about it, anything like that. As we are getting closer to the release date, I'm going to be more and more strict about that. I have pretty much completely purged any, like, my own videos, Monster Hunter content from my YouTube so that I don't accidentally get spoiled by thumbnails and stuff like that. I'm getting to the point where I'm a little paranoid that I'm going to see, like, I'm just going to be, like, absentmindedly scrolling through Twitter and I'm going to somehow see the entire roster leaked. But hopefully that's not the case. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stick around until the end of the hunt if you can. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.